Hello Tony, how's it to be back? Good break? You feel like you haven't been away? I suppose you haven't really. It's working all the way through.
We've been to America. Yeah, it doesn't seem very long since we finished, to be honest, but that's all right. It's football of today, I think. Somebody said to me, it's like planet football now, you know, it's everywhere. So I suppose we didn't have we've got the Ladies World Cup going on at the moment, of course, so football's all over the telly at the moment as well, but you know, in the men's game we've had a break from international competitions in this summer, but I think ready to go. It's what we do, play football on a Saturday and generally on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and yeah, they train and we try and keep them fit and we try and keep going, and we kick off not knowing quite how everybody else is, where are we going to be in the pecking order. A lot of big clubs in the division this year, you know, Ipswich and Sheff Wed coming up, but the three coming down are really established Premier League sides, as well as the Watfords and the West Broms and the Norwiches and the Middlesbroughs who've been in the Premier League of the not too distant future. So it's going to be a tough league, but it's going to be a great league to play in, I think, every week.
You've made a few signings over the summer. What's the plan for all of them? Are some of them going straight in the team, some of them going to have to wait a while? Do you need any more?
Yeah, to all of that, yeah. Some are in the team out of necessity. I think young Hamir Luis Semedo is, you know, he's got a few goals pre-season, but you know, when you look at him, he's still a young boy. His size probably belies his you know, what he is on the training ground, and yet he's desperate to do well. He's giving everything he's got. He's come from Portuguese football, and I think the running in pre-season has really shocked him at that we have to run in pre-season. It's whereas I don't think he's been doing that over recent years. So he's finding the training really tough, but he's a good kid, as I say, and I'm sure he will grow into the job. At the moment he's playing down the middle for us. He's scored a few goals. He's doing well. The young centre halves, one of them's got injured. Young Seath has got injured, Jensen Seath. So he hasn't been training for the last week or two. Young Triantis he's got lots of wonderful attributes. The Australian kid who's fast and direct and wants to win every ball. He can pass it out from the back well. Just needs to slow himself down, if anything, a little bit. You know, needs to know when he should go for a challenge and when not to. Experience, really. And over the year, they'll get game time and they'll get to feel what the league's all about. So yeah, it's been an interesting pre-season, trying to integrate them into the group, being away in America, and the adversity of the heat over there. It was good that the team could, you know, inverted commas, suffer together really and bond as they went along. So we're looking forward to the kick-off, the start. I've always believed that, you know, they're not really ready on day one maximum. They are building up really, and so the fitness build-up, etc., will continue for the next month to 6 weeks and something, and then you hit your rhythm hopefully. But in that period, of course, you're hoping to win football matches, because every team will be in the same. I say that because, you know, you've got to get everybody fit. So if you carry 25, 26 players, you've got to get 26 players fit through pre-season. So it's very rare that you put what you call your first team out together. So yeah, we're looking forward to it. The challenge ahead of us, you know, on the back of last season is a big challenge, as I say, mainly because of the teams that came down. A huge challenge with Ipswich Town, a team who came up, who are full of momentum and some investment in their team. So see where we are on Sunday.
Yeah. What do you make of Ipswich then? I mean, obviously a club that you know well, and one that bookies are thinking will not just be trying to stay in the league but pushing a bit further up it.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. I think the coach is very bright, and watching them, they play attractive football. You know, they finished the season off amazingly strongly, and because at times through a League One season it looked as if they might be faltering, and they dropped don't know whether they actually dropped out the playoffs at some stage, but they definitely dropped out of the top 2. And but they righted it. They scored lots of goals. They were, particularly at home, they were really dominant. And it's a great club. It's Ipswich is a lovely part of the world, and I think I'm really pleased that Ipswich are on their way back. Really, it's a good test for them, this division. It's a tough division this year, but I think they will be competitive. I think as I watch them, they're a well coached team. Kieran's obviously come from a Man United background, and he's recruited well. He's got them playing with a pattern and a shape and an organisation, in possession and out of possession, and there'll be a test for us, I'm sure.
And the match is also a chance to fundraise for MND and raise awareness. Marcus Stewart's here as guest of honour, who I think you managed him, didn't you? So it'd be nice to see him, I imagine, and to try and raise awareness of that disease. Yeah,
listen, it's a horrific disease. I played with Stewie. My last ever game was at Wembley in the playoff final. As I've told these lads plenty of times, I scored that day. Stewie also scored that day, to be honest, for Ipswich. He was a great lad to be around, to be honest. He sort of just loved life, and he played football with a freedom, and whilst he wasn't particularly fast or particularly powerful or particularly strong, he was a brilliant footballer who had a great brain and made amazing double runs in the box to find space and find the ball. Remember his goal at Anfield in a 1-0 win in the Premier League season after the promotion. So it'd be great to see Stewie. I've spoken to his wife a few times and trying to organise some of the stuff, and I've put them in charge of the people, in touch with the people who can organise the day for them. But it'd be great to see him, and a wonderful lad, a horrible, terrible disease, hopefully we can raise lots of money and raise awareness for MND. And
you've kind of touched on it, just finally, do you think you can match that amazing season you had last year, nearly going all the way, or do you think you've suggested that you think it's got to be a bit tougher this year?
I think the league's tougher. I don't think anybody can deny that. Leeds United, Southampton, Leicester City, Ipswich Town, Sheffield Wednesday back in the league, as well as Middlesbrough, Norwich, West Bromwich Albion, Watford. There's 10, 11, 12 teams that are, huge teams, and yet I'm sure if their coaches are sitting there naming the teams in the league, they would mention Sunderland as a huge club as well in this division. And so we have to be competitive, and as we tried to be last year, and we won some games towards the end of the season which catapulted us into the top 6. It wasn't the first time we'd been there during the season, but we ended there after the roundabout stopped going round. We ended up in 6th place. So I would just want us to be competitive every week and to win some games, and we know some tough fixtures away from home against some massive teams with some great players, but we've shown we can compete. Last year I think the team took a lot of positives out of going to Fulham, for instance, with just about a full strength team, and competing and almost winning the game away, and then giving them a really good game at home. We can compete against every team as long as we turn up and we are driven, motivated, organised. I've done the analysis on the opposition, know where their strengths and weaknesses are, but every team does that now. So we're looking forward to the challenge, and Ipswich is a big challenge. It's not a game where you think, they've come out of League One, they'll roll them over really early in the season, no problem. I think they're a really bright team with a bright coach, and it'll be a tough test for us, I'm sure.
All right. Thanks, Tony. Good luck, son.
Thank you.
Tony, obviously, as mentioned, it's a brand new season. What are you yourself most looking forward to from the new campaign?
Seeing how the new players get on this season, I think. Seeing if we can keep improving Roberts and Clark and the young players, Dan Neil, Ekwa, Trey Hume, Sirkin. We've got to keep trying to make them better and improve them, and hopefully they'll be better from the experience of last year in the Championship. Some of them players have never played in the Championship, and so another season in the Championship, I'm hoping that the experience of last year is going to stand them in good stead. we want to try and win games and play a brand of football where we can score goals, win matches, and get the supporters excited and enjoy watching this team, and try and get the team emotionally wrapped up with the fan base, and see if we can enjoy the journey.
Obviously has been a lot of transfer activity, and you mentioned all those players there. Do you know your 11 for Sunday?
Yeah, at the moment I do. If you'd have been at Hartlepool the other night, you would have seen that not too many of them are going to impact in the starting lineup. That might seem harsh, and yet the reality is the game on Saturday and the game on Tuesday, as I say to all my players all the time, you're getting judged all the time, and to compete as well as we did on Saturday against a team who finished in the top half of La Liga. We've had these games in the past. They're always difficult games when you play Spanish teams in pre-season or French teams in pre-season, and they're good technical football teams who want to prove to the English game that their league is strong, and I thought it was a real good test for us, and yet we went to Hartlepool on a wet, cold, windy Tuesday night and got battered, and do I know my team? Yes. I think, as I've said publicly, we need to add a couple more players, and we will be trying to do that. Not by Sunday, but definitely by the end of this month and the window closing. We need to, and will, I'm pretty sure, have some new additions to help the current squad.
And just finally, obviously the supporters have been away for quite a while. They'll be eager to get back on Sunday. What can you say to them about what they can expect this season and what they can look forward to?
Well, I think they know it's a competitive league. I met a lot of them last night, and I think they understand. My first question was, can we get promotion? And I tried to temper that with, look at how hard the league is. And we all love football. We all look at it. I don't think I'm trying to dampen it too much by saying the league is going to be significantly stronger next year. You'd be wrong to say that, Leicester, Southampton, and Leeds United aren't massive clubs who've been in the Premier League a good few years. I know Leeds was 3 years, but Southampton's 11 or 12 years, and Leicester won the Premier League in 15-16. So listen, they are significantly going to improve this division, and you have to step up if you're going to be competing with them. Otherwise, they'll run away with it, and it'll show the gulf. But I do believe that us, amongst the other teams that I mentioned, that we can throw some punches if we're going to say it's a fight in this division. We'll have to be competitive. We have to take points off them teams, as I'm sure, as I said, the West Broms, the Middlesbroughs, Millwalls, Bristol Cities, Watfords, they have to take points off each other and off these top teams, and I'm sure that's what will happen. So you have to try and be the best version of yourselves every 3 days, just about, if you can.